Hey guys, we're going to be talking about Detroit River today, a unique method to catch them. But first, what we want to do, I want to make you guys aware that there is a section of the river that's going to be closing from, I believe, tomorrow, Thursday the 25th, all through the weekend, because Detroit is hosting the 2024 NFL Draft. Yeah, pretty cool deal for the city, pretty awesome event that's coming to the city. But there is a section of the river around downtown by the GM Rensen where they anchor up the Princess. There's a section there that's going to be closed to the public. You're not going to be able to go through there. I don't know how they're closing it. I'm assuming they're closing it for security purposes for the NFL Draft. Don't quote me on any of this, but what I do know is there's a section right there that's going to be closed, so keep that in mind if you're coming up to fish or coming over to fish or coming down to fish, wherever you're coming from. But with that being said, there's still fish to be caught. You want to keep an eye on the weather, you guys. This weekend looks like some pretty strong south winds can make for a miserable time out there. I know my buddy Scott was out the other day and he said there was 3 to 4 footers. So keep that in mind. A south wind is not ideal wind to be out on that river. But it's been a phenomenal season for everybody, you guys. Bank fishermen, charter boat guys, weekend warriors, everybody's been hammering the walleye. I've actually got out and got on some myself, and I'm going to share with you a catch from that. But what I want to talk about is one of the methods outside of vertical jigging that is talked about, but it's not really that popular, okay? And there's a few different lures that you can use. You know, for me, vertical jigging can get kind of monotonous, can get kind of old. It is fun. It's a fast way to put a bunch of fish in the boat. But if you're looking for an opportunity to catch them a different method, I'm going to share with you a few different methods to do that. Number one, and these are all casting methods. Number one is going to be the Rapala Rip and Wrap. Okay, and so what you're going to want to look for is the 1/2 ounce or the 7, I believe it's 7/8, 1/2 ounce, 7/8, or somewhere in there. There's, I believe, 4 sizes of Rip and Wraps. You're going to want either the 1/2 ounce or the 7/8. I believe it's 7/8 is the biggest one. I think they're like 3 or 3.5 inch. Have to look them up, but get the heavier ones. And what you're going to want to do, and this is how I do it. This is how I target fish when I'm casting. I go across some areas that I know should have fish, and I utilize my side scan. Now, side scan is one of them things that a lot of people do not utilize. They have it on their boat, but yet they don't know how to use it. Take the time to learn how to use your electronics. It's going to make your fishing so much better. You're going to be able to locate fish, structure, all kinds of stuff to improve your odds while out on the water. So what I do is I use my side scan and I go across these areas and I look for fish, right? Real easy to spot on side scan once you know what you're looking for. And what I'll do is I'll spot lock. I'll set up and spot lock, and a lot of times I'm close to shore, no more than 50 yards off the bank. These are early morning times and right after sunset. These fish will be up shallow. They're still there. The fish are in all stages of the spawn right now. Not all the walleye are going to spawn at the same time. There's fish that are spawned out. There's fish that are spawning. There's fish that are still looking to come into spawn. So don't be afraid to still target these shallow areas to try to catch some walleye in the low light conditions. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be spot locked and I'm going to be casting upstream and working my bait back to me. Maybe slightly on an angle towards the bank and then back out to me, but essentially upstream and then working it back to you is the most productive method. One of my favorite baits, again, is the Rapala Rip and Wrap. Okay, yo-yo technique, cast, let it hit bottom, yo-yo it back. You can cast, let it hit bottom, hold your rod tip high, do a straight retrieve, throw in some pauses there, but you got to keep in mind you don't want to be dragging bottom with it either. Another method that is extremely popular, and I know John Bondy, a walleye guide, really popular dude over in Canada, he likes to throw a deep diving crankbait. Now this is something I haven't tried in the Detroit River. It's productive. From everything I see, it's productive, especially for him. But this is something I've done off Lake Huron, off pier heads and stuff like that at night, casting deep diving crankbaits. This particular one is a Reef Runner 44 Magnum. I believe these babies will get down to 20+ feet of water. So if you're not into crankbait fishing or stuff like that, it can be a difficult task to achieve in the Detroit River because of the current. You're going to get different diving depths depending on which way you're casting it, you know, into the current, behind you, away from the current, off to the side. But it is an effective method, and it'll put fish in the boat if you're looking to do something different. Now I'm going to share with you a catch I had early morning, less than a week ago, and then I'll share with you the method that I chose to catch them, my favorite method outside of vertical jigging.
Yeah, buddy. There's a good one right there, you guys. Good walleye.
Okay, so what it is basically it's similar to a vertical jig setup. I'm using a tungsten. Now remember, tungsten is more dense than lead, so what you're going to achieve out of tungsten is a smaller profile but a heavier weight. So what I like to do is use a 1/2 ounce jig head and bomb that sucker up into the current as far as you can, let it hit bottom, and then just slowly crawl the bottom, pop it a little bit, slowly crawl it. I go with the smaller profile. This is like a 3-inch split tail or a 3-inch paddle tail. Go with a little smaller profile. And this has put a ton of walleye in the boat for me over the years. It's just a different method, but I enjoy using it mainly because I do use live scope. So I'm using live scope to know exactly where this bait is in the water column. And I also, live scope tells me whether or not there's fish there to begin with. So the beauty of live scope is if they're not hitting this, I can try the rip and wrap, things like that. I can fire in a crankbait at them. But this is one of my favorite methods because of the bite. It's kind of a finesse-y type thing as far as fishing for walleye. It's something different than vertical jigging. I get tired of vertical jigging. I mean, it's a productive method. I just get tired of doing it. So give that a try as well. 3 different casting methods for you guys. There's still time. The spring has been extremely funky. Right now it's a real feel of 28 degrees out there. So it's been a real strange spring. Water temp hasn't been rising as fast as it normally would. So there's still an opportunity for you guys to get out there and get after them. But remember, this weekend there's that section of river closed. So you guys stay out of there. Don't give yourself any more headaches than you need. Good luck out there, you guys. And again, stay safe. They're calling for southwest winds this weekend. What can happen with that is it can turn that river over real quick and make it a very unenjoyable trip for you. Anything south over 15, 20 mile an hour can make that river turn ugly fast. So thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and give these methods a try next time you're out there if you're bored and get sick of jigging like I do sometimes. Enjoy the weekend, you guys. Tight lines. We'll see you on the next one. Right there. Woo! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there, baby. Muskie from the kayak. Nice Great Lake strain right out of Lake St. Clair. Nailed the jerk bait.